evening, I'm Raghavi and welcome to the election special episode of the Hindus About the Fold. The official results are out and the TVK has delivered a shocker to the Dravidian parties that have ruled Tamil Nadu for more than 5 decades. The UDF has returned to power in Kerala, while Assem and Puducherry have seen no change in regime. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the National Democratic Alliance (NDA) has formed governments in more than 20 states, adding that with the West Bengal verdict, the lotus is blooming from Gangotri to Ganga Sagar. How did the BJP manage to expand its footprint in the east? Let's take a deep dive into the election results. Tamil Nadu has delivered a historic verdict in its assembly elections, with Vijay's Tamaraga Vetri Kalagam breaking the state's long-standing Dravidian duopoly to emerge as the single largest party. Here's the full report.
In a significant shift away from decades of Dravidian political dominance, Tamil Nadu has voted decisively in favor of a political new entrant, actor C. Joseph Vijay's Tamilaga Vetri Kalagam. TVK's performance is indicative of a huge anti-incumbency factor, a sentiment in the room many psephologists and analysts fail to read. While TVK fell short of the simple majority mark, it has emerged as the single largest party, with both the DMK and AADMK failing to come close to its numbers. One of the most significant setbacks for the DMK came in Kolattur, where Chief Minister M.K. Stalin lost to TVK's V.S. Babu, a former DMK leader. The constituency had been a stronghold for Stalin since 2011. In a parallel political development, Congress leaders in Tamil Nadu have reached out to party president Mallikarjun Kharge urging support for Vijay.
By and large, people of Tamil Nadu, they voted for a change. Especially the youngsters and women have moved towards TVK. I have already submitted a report to our Congress President, Khargeji, Leader of Opposition, Rahulji, and General Secretary Organization, Venugopalji. I think in a while, all of them will take a call what to do in Tamil Nadu.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the leader of the opposition Rahul Gandhi have taken social media to congratulate Vijay for TVK's victory. To understand the factors behind this electoral shift, we are joined by our Deputy National Editor Srinivasa Ramani.
If you look at the vote shares in highly urban cities, that is metropolitan areas such as in Chennai and Coimbatore and so on, the TVK's vote share was 46.5%, much higher than its average, which is 34%. And it managed to win 32 out of the overall 35 seats. This was a spectacular performance. Even in moderately urban areas, its vote share was even high, quite good at 39%, and it did very well in its seat tally as well. It did pretty decently in the rural areas with 31 and 30% of the vote, but it was not as pronounced in urban areas. So that leads to the question, why this gap in urban and rural areas? Clearly, Vijay's campaign, built on his charisma and his popularity as an actor, was built on social media and internet, whose penetration was higher in the urban areas, with people with access to Instagram and other social media tools was more pronounced in those areas, and that therefore helped him win significantly in these areas. Now the question as to the reason why the DMK lost its vote shares to the TVK, it's a difficult question to answer. Only opinion polls will give us a clear answer. We have to wait for some credible opinion or exit polls to understand that. But my hunch is this, that during the DMK's rule, Tamil Nadu has witnessed significant economic growth, but this economic growth is not uniform. It has benefited a number of districts, but not again most people in the districts. There has been an uneven impact of these economic reforms. Wage growth, some economists would say that it's not really grown dramatically, and there are people who are aspirational, who believe that their needs have not been answered substantially. Vijay, on the other hand, represents a force who is not tainted by some of the misgivings that people have with the Dravidian parties, and therefore they have chosen Vijay over someone like the BJP, which has also been trying very hard to make inroads into Tamil Nadu, but who has not been able to do so because of ideological revulsion among Tamil Nadu voters to the idea that some party that is seen as someone from the north would come and set his base in the south. So these are the reasons I feel that Vijay has stolen a march. But again, this is something unprecedented. In India, only N.T. Rama Rao of the Telugu Desam party managed such a victory on his very first attempt in 1982. and it would require a bit more of not just analysis but also some introspection from journalists to understand the specific reasons why an actor with zero political experience and who has not offered a political platform beyond tall promises and rhetoric could steal a march over a party which has fashioned itself as something. I'm talking about the DMK fashioned itself as something that is taking on the center, taking on center for Tamil Nadu's interests, and still lost. Not only did it lose the chief minister M.K. Stalin, who till late was called the most popular chief minister in India, perhaps he lost this election in Kolathur. So this humongous shift in Tamil Nadu politics needs further delving and understanding. And now we can only reflect on the victory, but to understand it, we need to introspect and study the verdict further. For Tamil Nadu's political landscape, the way I look at it is the ADMK managed to get a substantial vote share in the rural areas, particularly in the north and the west, especially in the one-year community-dominated areas. Where we crunched the numbers, we found that there are 72 such constituencies, and the ADMK won the bulk of them, 31 of them. So the ADMK's strength has been to retain its community-based vote shares in the north and in the west, in the Kongu region, for example. Uh, the former Chief Minister Edapadi Palanisamy won by a huge margin. Of course, he didn't have much of a competition in his constituency, but the ADMK managed to still hold on somewhat to his score base, and that's why the even though a chunk of its voters went to the TVK, a larger chunk actually deserted the DMK-led alliance to the TVK and allowed it to steal a march over both parties. What it means for the political landscape, this is the first time we notice that the Dravidian duopoly has been upended by a new force. Whether this force will now capture more of the ADMK votes for itself and emerge, and Vijay can emerge as the new MGR or the Jayalalitha, needs to be watched. Or will he strike a path of his own, and considering the fact that he comes from a minority community, will he get support from those sections who have traditionally supported the DMK, which has happened in this session? Whether this will continue remains to be seen. But in my opinion, this is an eye opener for the DMK in particular, because its strategy of trying to turn this election into a contest between the DMK and the BJP, as if Stalin was a representative of Tamil Nadu and he was taking this fight to the BJP, that did not really gel in these elections. And perhaps it has to rethink as to how it can make a more decisive impact in trying to win the hearts and minds of its voters. It's perhaps we are overreading the situation. Perhaps merely a vote share difference of 4 percentage points between the TVK and DMK will tell us that the DMK should not worry so much. But if the chief minister himself has lost, and what is perceived as a period of economic development, where the state delivered 11% and 11% growth consecutively in 2 years, and Tamil Nadu has emerged as a major economic hub. And Mr. Stalin is seen as someone who delivers on governance. Despite that, if the DMK is losing, then there is a perceptional battle to win, and thus that perceptional battle cannot be merely reduced into a Delhi versus Tamil Nadu, variable. But what DMK offers as a party that will, bring an equitable development for the entirety of Tamil Nadu, and how it will strive to do that. Let's see if it manages to do that, being in the opposition. This is a fledgling government which with no experience in governance, or having experienced leaders who can genuinely work on a clear model that would better the Dravidian model. So let's see how the DMK handles itself in the opposition. For the ADMK, Mr. Edapadi Palanisamy was also in some kind of a crisis, in the sense that he was facing rebellion from within, but he managed to consolidate support and become the primary leader in the ADMK. By this performance, he will again go to his partymen and say, look, we have not collapsed. We still have a fighting chance, and let's take our opposition. Let's stay in opposition and consolidate our support. And so again, for the foreseeable future, I still think that the Tamil Nadu politics will now be a three-cornered political fight or political slugfest between these three parties.
West Bengal saw a major upheaval with the Trinamool Congress losing its tight grip to the BJP. Here's a look into how people voted.
West Bengal's leading lady is no more. After 15 years in power, the Trinamool Congress's Mamata Banerjee has not been re-elected as chief minister in a major upset. The BJP secured 204 seats, while the TMC won just 83. The BJP has registered an all-time high vote percentage of over 45% and saw its vote share increase by 7% from 38% in the 2021 assembly polls. The Trinamool Congress vote share dropped by 7% from 48% in 2021 to 41% in the 2026 assembly polls. Prime Minister Narendra Modi praised the win, calling it a, quote, historic mandate for development and governance, unquote, and thanking voters for their support. Meanwhile, West Bengal saw mixed reactions. Celebrations erupted across BJP strongholds, with party workers taking to the streets. But in other parts of the state, tensions flared, with reports of clashes between TMC and BJP supporters. The result marks a significant political change. The BJP has now expanded its footprint across the west, north, and now east of India. This is the party's first ever victory in West Bengal, a state that has long resisted its influence. Analysts say that the outcome reflects a combination of anti-incumbency, organizational expansion by the BJP, and a fragmented opposition vote. Voting data shows that Muslims in the state saw their vote share spread across opposition parties, diluting consolidation. The BJP, meanwhile, was able to rally several other communities and consolidate its base. But questions remain about what this mandate means for governance, federal relations, and the future of regional parties in India. To break down the data and understand what this tells us about this political shift, we spoke to Srinivasan Ramani, the Deputy National Editor.
So, Shini, can you explain to us first what happened? How did the BJP manage to secure a win in West Bengal after having such a stronghold, after the TMC had such a stronghold over the place?
Yeah. So before that, let's get into the what question rather than the how question. So what did they do now? The BJP has now won close to 206 seats and 46% of the vote share. Now, Bengal always votes decisively, right? So the party that has the highest vote share tends to win the bulk of the seats, and that's been the story for last 50 years or so. And the BJP, therefore, with 46% of the vote share, just 4 percentage points more than, or rather, close to 4.5 percentage points more than TMC, has managed to win more than 100 seats, 100 seats more than the TMC, right? Now, why did this happen? I would say the easier answer, the first order answer is anti-incumbency. The Trinamool Congress has been in power for 15 years. It's a state where Trinamool leaders have been accused of corruption. Some have been arrested because of that. The Trinamool also has this what some political scientists call a franchisee culture, where they use the charisma and image of Mamata Banerjee to build networks of support across the state, and the local satrap or the Trinamool leaders in those parts, they are the owners of the franchisees, so to say, and they indulge in corrupt practices, and this has been a problem in Bengal for quite some time. The Trinamool managed to overcome this problem by always portraying itself as the strongest opposition to the BJP. And this is a state with a significant Muslim population. Close to 30% of Bengal of the population of Bengal is that of Muslims. What has happened this time is that while we looked at the data, in places where Muslims are more than 20% or 25%, the Trinamool has done relatively well. It has won 68 seats, and the BJP has won 91 seats, and the vote share is also pretty close. The Trinamool has won 41.7% and BJP is 41.6%. So in those seats, the Trinamool has done relatively better. But what has happened is it's also hemorrhaged some of its vote share to the left front and the Congress. So wherever the Muslims have found a more credible candidate, they have gone and voted them. So just 4 seats, but still that has helped the BJP gain an advantage because of the split in the Muslim votes.
Right.
That's one. Secondly, even in places with a high Muslim majority concentration, the BJP has won almost the same share as that of the Trinamool, which means to say that there has been a religious polarization of sorts. So a counter polarization against Muslim consolidation has happened that has benefited the BJP. And you will know that the BJP did not field a single Muslim candidate. They went deliberately into this election, focusing on polarizing the vote.
Yeah.
And that is also reflected in the other things that the BJP did. The BJP has, over time, the last decade or so, tried to mobilize the Matua community, which is a Dalit community, with many of them living in the border areas of Bengal, adjoining Bangladesh. And I suspect many of them include some migrants who have come over from Bangladesh and belong to the Hindu community. The BJP had worked on them using the CAA, the Citizenship Amendment Act. It also worked on the Rajabangshis in northern Bengal, and that is reflected in the data. In the SC and ST reserved seats, the BJP has a 10-point advantage. It has won 50% of the vote share, while the Trinamool has just won 40. So the combination of these two, social engineering to win more seats from the Dalits and the marginalized, and also consolidating the Hindu vote against the Trinamool. While the Trinamool has lost some Muslim votes to the left front and Congress, all these have helped the BJP, breach this stronghold of the Trinamool in Eastern India.
Right. And can you just give us a sense of how big of an impact this is for
huge.
West Bengal?
This is huge. So the BJP, if you remember correctly, its precursor was the Bharatiya Jansangh, and one of its tallest leaders was Shama Prasad Mukherjee, who comes from the state of Bengal. So BJP has always ideologically coveted Bengal, being the homeland of it's one of its ideological forebearers, Shama Prasad Mukherjee, but uh, it had not made a dent in Bengal. It had tried very hard in 2021, but it won 37%, which was quite good. But the Trinamool had stolen a march then. Since 1977, you had the left front ruling in Bengal, and the BJP was never a force there. But now, what has happened is that by winning close to 50% of the vote, 46% to be more accurate, they have finally made a dent in Bengal, and now they control three major states in the east.
Yeah.
They are in power in Bengal. They have retained power in Assam. This is their third term in Assam, and they also defeated a long-standing regional party in Biju Janata Dal in Odisha and came to power over there. So the other thing that is important to note is that people said that if the BJP had a direct fight with the Congress, they could actually overcome the Congress much more easily, but they couldn't do so when it had to tackle a regional party.
Right.
But now, by defeating the Trinamool, one major regional force has now also lost to the BJP. So they have defeated the BJD in Odisha, and now they have defeated the Trinamool in West Bengal. And the BJP was always been seen as a northern and a western party, but now their expanse now extends from the west to the north to also to the east. And the south is where there is some kind of resistance to the BJP.
Right.
The BJP secured its third term in Assam, a hat-trick for the party. The win comes as the current Chief Minister, Himanta Biswa Sarma, led a campaign heavily charged with identity politics and welfare promises. Here's what the numbers show.
Results from Assam's assembly election saw the BJP-led Northeast Democratic Alliance secure a sweeping win for the third time in the northeastern state. Earlier today, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma celebrated the thumping victory at a party event. The alliance, abbreviated as NEDA, secured over 100 seats, keeping Sharma in the chief minister's position for another 5 years. On the other hand, the Congress-led six-party opposition, the Assam Sonmilito Morcha, secured only 26 seats at the time of this recording. This means that the NEDA won nearly 4 times the number of seats as Congress's ASM. The NEDA, led by the BJP, allied with the Assam Gana Parishad, the Bodoland People's Front, and the Rabba Hasong Jota Mancha. Despite various socio-cultural differences and shifting allegiances in the past, the NEDA led in all 5 regions of Assam. Lower Assam in particular saw major competition in 2021, but this year, the NEDA secured 29 out of the region's 44 seats. Upper Assam also saw a landslide win for the NEDA, which won 33 seats. The victory reflects the impact of partnering with the Assam Gana Parishad, which has strong support in the region. Assam BJP President Dilip Saikia described the party's, quote, third successive victory, unquote, in the assembly polls as a testimony to the fulfillment of its 2021 election manifesto. The BJP's win dealt a major blow to the Congress party led by Gaurav Gogai, which had hoped to shift the political landscape away from what he called the BJP's, quote, divisive, unquote, stance, and return to the glory days of 2011. That was when Gogai's father, Tarun Gogoi, won the state in a landslide.
Moving on to Kerala, where the United Democratic Front has secured a landslide victory, crossing the majority mark with ease. This marks the end of a decade-long rule by the LDF. Our next report has more.
The Congress led United Democratic Front has stormed to power in Kerala with a commanding mandate. Out of 140 seats with a majority mark at 71, the numbers tell a clear story. The UDF has secured over 100 seats, while the Left Democratic Front has been reduced to a fraction of its earlier strength. The NDA has managed 3 seats and others account for the remaining.
ഞാൻ കരുതുന്നു കേരളത്തിൽ എല്ലാ മതവിഭാഗങ്ങളും ജാതിമത ചിന്തകളില്ലാതെ UDF സഹായിച്ചു. കഴിഞ്ഞ 10 വർഷക്കാലത്തെ ദുർഭരണത്തിന് അന്ത്യം കുറിച്ച് ഒരു പുതുയുഗത്തിന് തുടക്കമിടാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടുള്ള കേരളത്തിൻ്റെ ഈ തീരുമാനം, ആ തീരുമാനമാണ് സുപ്രധാനമായൊരു രാഷ്ട്രീയ തീരുമാനം. രാജ്യം മുഴുവൻ ഉറ്റുനോക്കിയ ഈ തെരഞ്ഞെടുപ്പിൽ ഇത്ര വലിയ വിജയം ഉണ്ടാകാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞതിലുള്ള അഭിമാനം ഞങ്ങളുടെ UDFനുണ്ട് എന്ന് ഞാൻ പ്രത്യേകം പരാമർശിക്കും.
For the LDF, led by Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, this marks a major setback after a decade in power with strong anti-incumbency visible across constituencies. Several key leaders have struggled, reflecting the scale of voter dissatisfaction. Amid the sweeping UDF wave, the BJP has made a notable breakthrough, opening its account with 3 key wins. Rajiv Chandrasekhar won from Nemam, V. Muralidharan from Karakuttam, and B.B. Gopagmar from Chatanur, marking a significant, if limited, presence in the assembly. Kerala BJP President Rajiv Chandrasekhar called the result a new beginning. For the LDF, the setbacks extend deep into the cabinet. However, there are notable exceptions among LDF ministers. Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan retained his Dharmadam seat, though he faced a nerve-wracking contest. He ultimately secured a lead of over 18,000 votes against Congress candidate VP Abdul Rashid, marking his 3rd consecutive win from the constituency. Other key ministers who won include Public Works and Tourism Minister PM Mohammad Riaz, who retained Baipur, winning by over 7,000 votes against PV Anwar. Revenue Minister K. Rajan held on in Olur, Culture Minister Saji Cherian retained Chenganur, and Food and Supplies Minister Gia Ranil won from Nedumangadu. Meanwhile, the scale of the UDF victory is evident across the state. Senior Congress leader Ramesh Chennithala registered a landslide win in Haripad with a margin exceeding 23,000 votes, one of the biggest victories of his career. The Indian Union Muslim League has also emerged as a crucial pillar for the UDF's victory. The party secured 22 seats, becoming the 3rd largest force in the assembly after the Congress and CPIM, and played a decisive role, particularly in the Malabar region. In Puducherry, Chandi Oommen, son of the former late Chief Minister Oommen Chandi, secured a massive win. Reacting to the mandate, Priyanka Gandhi thanked the people of Kerala for their overwhelming support. Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated the UDF and thanked the people of Kerala for their participation in the democratic process. Speculation is already building around the Chief Minister's post, with names like K.C. Venugopal and V.D. Sadishan in the discussion. Leader of the opposition, V.D. Sadishan, confirmed the Congress High Command will decide the next Chief Minister within 2 days, assuring that the process will be smooth and unified.
To get more insights on this sweeping mandate, we now go to our resident editor Kerala S. Anandan and resident editor Delhi Varghese George.
It's the CPM, ordinary CPM cadre defeating the CPM leadership.
Absolutely.
The ordinary people and the CPM cadres, they wanted the party to correct its course. They wanted, this is a strong reminder to the party that you better correct your course or else we have another choice. In fact, soon after some of the results came out, V.D. Sadishan made a Facebook post saying that who else but LDF, and people are saying UDF is there and it is Team UDF. So the contrast is quite stark. When you talk about LDF, it is all reduced to one person and one larger than life image. And on the other side, the projection is of a team where you have the IUML, where you have the Kerala Congress, where you have other smaller parties. And then the Congress is also not projecting one leader. I mean, which was actually which was actually quite evident. It is nothing unusual. But then in this current scenario where the entire the left group or rather, the parties were rallying behind one person. Here, on the other side, you had an array of leaders, you had a galaxy of leaders, and then they were campaigning together, projecting themselves as part of a team. So, this was the
Also,
I
within the yeah,
actually worked in their favor, a team versus
yeah.
one person.
Yes, because even within, apart from the UDF, the team of the constituent parties, within the Congress, at least there were five
Absolutely.
leaders
Yeah.
who were like present across the state.
Yep.
So two, three of the, two of them, obviously the leader of opposition and Mr.
Yeah.
Ramesh
Ramesh
Chenitala,
Chenitala and VD Solution. Yeah.
VD Sadishan, and at least three members of parliament, that is Shashi
Yeah.
Tharoor, Shafi Paramban, and KC Venugopal.
Yes,
At least these five leaders had a all Kerala presence,
Yeah.
and there was, I think, there was a presence of there was a sense of Congress UDF workers feeling that being valued, as
Yeah.
opposed to a system
Yeah.
in which, in the last 10 years, this is actually counterintuitive. In the CPM, for all we know, when the CPM is in power, a district secretary of the party or an area secretary of the party, they used to be very important figures in the realm of things. So we've had a system of party government relationship in the last 10 years where the CPM office bearers at the local level, at the district level, were all feeling completely sidelined,
Yeah.
unless you have other informal network into the chief minister's secretariat or there's no structured mechanism as it used to exist in the CPM, where okay, if there is a decision to be made, there is a mechanism through which those discussions and deliberations would happen. That had actually gone, and I think they are paying a huge price for what happened.
Turning to Puducherry, the Union Territory has delivered a clear mandate in favor of the ruling AI-NRC BJP alliance, which is set to retain power with a majority. Here's the report.
The All India NR Congress-led alliance has secured a decisive mandate, winning 12 seats in the 30-member Puducherry Assembly, and is set to form the government for a second consecutive term. Chief Minister N. Rangasamy has retained his Tattanjavadi seat, defeating Congress leader V. Vaithilingam by 3,591 votes, and is set to assume office for a fifth term. Alliance partner BJP has contributed 4 seats to the tally. Senior leader and Home Minister A. Namachivayam won from Mannadipettai by 6,110 votes, while in Mudaliyarpettai, BJP's A. Jankumar secured a notable victory with a margin of 2,371 votes, marking a shift from the previous election. On the opposition side, the DMK Congress alliance has faced key setbacks. Leader of the opposition R. Siva lost Villiyanur to AINRC's P. Ravi Kumar by 1,970 votes. However, DMK's Vignesh Kannan managed a narrow win in Raj Bhavan, securing victory by just 287 votes in a closely contested three-way race. Overall, the DMK Congress alliance has won 6 seats. While it retained pockets of support, it fell short of mounting a broader challenge to the ruling combine. Tamulaga Vetri Kalagam, contesting its first election in the Union Territory, has made a notable impact. The party won Manaveli and Tirubhuvanai, with B. Ramu and A.K. Sai J. Saravanakumar emerging victorious. In Tirubhuvanai, the contest was particularly tight, decided by a slender margin. TVK also influenced outcomes in several multi-cornered contests, including Mudaliyarpettai and Raj Bhavan, where narrow margins underscored a fragmented vote. Businessman Jose Charles Martin, founder of Lachya Jananayaga Katchi and alliance partner of the AINRC-led NDA, has pulled off a victory in Kamaraj Nagar, Puducherry. Overall, the mandate in favor of the AINRC-BJP alliance appears to have outweighed anti-incumbency, reinforcing the ruling combine's position in the Union Territory.
And that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Please share your thoughts on today's episode in the comment section. And if you found this video useful, don't forget to share it and save the About the Fold playlist so you never miss an update.